Hi, I'm Kara, and I will be the commentator for Lockheed's temperament test.
Okay, this is this is Lockheed. He has a green collar, green collar, male, and he does have a cool eye.
Okay, so right away we're going to jump into this test, and in the beginning it goes fast, but with this one, fast is the name of the game. So right away we're going to see how he handles human focus or pack driven. And I'm going to tell you because we have to move fast. He is going to be human focused, and his human assertiveness is definitely on display, as well as his dog assertiveness. He is just an assertive, high energy and assertive. I love this little guy so much. He is so unique. He has a beautiful blue eye that just makes everybody stop and have to look at him. But just his personality in itself is so much fun. Energy is the name of the game. Everything is fun and playful, and his tail is always wagging. I think in all of the years that I have done this, I don't personally think I have ever had a dog that had as much energy as this one, a puppy that had as much energy as this one. Sorry. But he is still just such a joy, and I know that his perfect home is out there, and whoever it is going to absolutely love and cherish everything about him. Okay, so moving on to some details that I just had to skip over in the beginning since we had to go so fast. Sarah is the tester that you see, and right now she is testing out his prey drive. With such high energy, it's not any surprise to me that he has a prey drive. It's not also a surprise that he likes toys. Sarah is a tester that we have used multiple different times. She knows how to do this. She is a stranger to this specific dog and the pack. When they came in here, they had no rapport built with her. So everything that you see is how he would respond to a complete stranger. In this little bit that you are looking at, what she is doing is she's testing the prey drive, but she's also testing his workability and his motivation level. So some of that stuff is going to come into play as we work through different parts of this obstacle course. The bag that he's picking up and bringing around is actually a bag that we like to have them walk across to see how they feel about different sounds and textures having to walk over. Okay, so another thing that she is doing is the touch tolerance. We have been working with her touch tolerance since they were 3 days old, and it's something that he's very experienced in. So the fact that he was not really letting her have the time, ended up interjecting in here and saying, maybe pick him up, just because his energy is pretty high, and sometimes you have to bring him to, or bring them to, a different level to get an idea of what's happening. But as you can see, he went from being so spunky, running around, and as soon as she grabs him and lifts him up, he is a little bit more chill. Before on the ground, I would say his touch tolerance is low. And typically, I wouldn't give you two different types of touch tolerance, I wouldn't give you two different types of answers, I should say. But I do think it's worth noting that when he's running around and he's doing the things like, and his energy is just on, he's probably not going to be interested in somebody grabbing him and trying to hold him down. His energy is just too much to contain in one little body like that. But if you do remove him from the place of him playing and doing all those kind of things, and let's say you're sitting on the couch, I know him to be very cuddly and very lovey, and he does want to be with you. He doesn't always act like Sonic the Hedgehog, but he for sure has his moments where he likes to cuddle and kind of be with you. So something else that we're going to test here is his food drive. A couple reasons why we like to do that is because we're working with him to see his motivation level. Can we get him to go over those weird things? Have him do different activities with food. or is he just too energetic and too distracted? And as you can see here, even though he does have a lot of energy, his food drive was pretty high, and I think that that will be really helpful for when you are doing training, teaching him to, sit, come, stay, all of that kind of stuff. I think food will be a good tool to have in your back pocket. If you don't do food, as far as training goes, it may take just a little bit longer. But even right here, you can see he kind of just calms down, slows down to pay attention to the fact that, she has food in her hands. So I wanted to make note of that for you just because it is important, how we can train our dogs. Another thing that's really important about food is, dogs who are under stress will not eat. It's a typical thing. And so I see him have a lot of energy, and dogs express stress differently. Energy could potentially be a sign of his stress. And so by giving him some food and seeing how he responds to that actually gives me an idea of whether or not this is a stress energy or is this just a him playful energy. I do know him to be a pretty energetic puppy, so I wasn't surprised when he ate the food, while he was going through this. So I will say his motivation level is a medium high. I do think you will be able to get him to do what you need to get him to do with some food. Um, it's there. Next test is sound sensitivity. So here we just want to see how he handles the stress of hearing a noise. And as you can tell, not much has changed. So I just scored him low sound sensitivity. I really don't think he's going to be too bothered. His confidence level is pretty high. And then following this test here, she's going to go right into the sight sensitivity. Very similar. We just want to see, not if he gets scared, because that's not necessarily the thing. It's good for dogs to be a little startled, a little unsure. That's how they stay safe. But we want to know, how do they respond to the stress, and the information of getting scared or startled. So, again, I feel like low sight sensitivity, just like sound. Okay, this dog, like I said, energy, 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 energy. It's so great, but he definitely takes the cake for most energetic puppy. I love it. Okay, so next and lastly, we are going to go into the tenderhearted test. And this test is a way for us to see how he handles humans with outbursts. Would he be good in a home with a person who's autistic, on the spectrum somehow? Or would he be able to be okay in a home with children, who are, throwing temper tantrums or whatever it might be? I can tell you right now, he's definitely not going to be a service dog and probably not even an emotional support dog. Um, This puppy likes to live life and have fun, and everything that's going on here, um, just fun. Like, I think he's so playful. He just wants to enjoy life. He doesn't have time to be sad. If you're sad, you don't have time to be sad. We have things to do. I love this dog. He's so sweet, and to some people the energy would definitely be a huge turnoff, and I do think that's something to for sure take into consideration. I would say a dog like him would probably not be best in a home that, well, in a home of somebody who's not willing to do dog training. If you're the kind of person who just wants to let your dog do whatever, you don't want to put them in crates, you don't want to bring him to training, he's probably not going to be the dog for you. And if you do take him, he's probably going to rule the roost and do whatever he wants to do, and potentially give a really bad name to this breed. But if you're the kind of person who is interested and willing to do the investment that it takes, he could be a phenomenal dog for anybody who's willing to do that extra training. And so that would be the first step. No matter what your lifestyle is like, I think training should be a high consideration. If you don't know how to do it yourself, that you would bring him to get trained. And then secondly, I don't think he would be good for a home of an elderly couple, and he definitely would probably not be good for a home with little tiny children, because he needs to learn some boundaries and limitations. But aside from those few things that I think are worth taking mention to, he is such a sweetheart, and he definitely will be somebody's best pet.